Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a very fun piece of chess content for you today. Over the last few years, the world of chess has been struck by a very sensitive subject that brings about quite a lot of debate, and that subject is cheating. Cheating at the highest level of chess is a problem. It poses an existential threat to the game. But since chess has grown so much over the last few years, cheating naturally will occur more and more because it's a game that really challenges us intellectually, spiritually, emotionally. It makes people feel a certain type of way when they win and lose. And I have a playlist here on YouTube of catching cheaters. Now, yesterday, I had a subscriber email me. This subscriber is named Justin. Justin sent me a game where he played against a cheater, and then the cheater tried to play on his own past a certain point. And he really shouldn't have done that. Very, very, very bad mistake. Now, I'm going to show you in this video several games that cheater played on chess.com. They are absolutely hysterical. Remember, a couple of things determine whether or not a person is cheating. Brand new account, massive win rate, consistent time management, massive level of play difference between the high and the low, etc., etc. Now, let's jump into this video because this is really, really, really funny stuff. So we're going to kick things off here by showing you some of the games that this cheater played when they were on their own. So the cheater was trying to, mix in a little bit of their own chess with the use of stockfish, and it was very, very funny. Now, normally I don't just make fun of people, but if you're gonna cheat, I'm gonna make fun of you. So Zach, rated 1850, played against the cheater. Cheater played knight f6, knight c3, e6, e4. This is actually known as an English opening, Mikanis Karls variation. White tries to play e5 very quickly, attacking the knight in the center of the board. Now, around this time, the cheater was either playing completely on their own, like from the very beginning of the game, or they were cheating, for the first 5 moves. Like they were just cheating in the opening, and that way they were not getting totally losing positions in the opening. They played d5. Zach played here, attacking the knight. The knight went back to d7. So far, so good. So far, so good. Pawn takes. Now, knight takes e5 is the best move. d4. And now knight g6. So like I said, cheater would basically kind of get out into the opening, get into an equal position, and then would try to play by themselves. So we would get pawn takes, bishop takes. So far, so good. Now white plays bishop d3. Okay. Now here, there's a lot of moves for black. The best moves are bishop e7, maybe knight c6, maybe c6, preventing the pawn from coming to d5. But all of these moves just generally want to develop a piece. Now, I actually think that the cheater, I'm gonna have a hot take. I think the cheater cheated all 7 moves of this game. So, based on what I've seen from their openings, this was all cheating. And then, and you can also look at the time management. I mean, it's a little bit tough to tell because they're getting 10 seconds added every single time they make a move. But this is now the first move that the cheater doesn't cheat. Okay, 7 moves they cheated. Position is equal. Now they think, and now they play a move, they don't cheat. You ready? Just look at the eval bar, white set a trap. White set a trap. White's trap was no longer defending the pawn with the queen, but you cannot take this because your queen is hanging if I give you a check. And white played bishop b5 check, and black resigned. So this is what this is who we are dealing with. You cannot guard the queen. You can't guard the queen and the king. Knight c6, you're pinned. So I would just take the queen for free. GG. This is who we're dealing with, right? And there were so many more of these games. I found a game here. Cheater played against somebody named Benjamin, right? And by the way, actually similar opening. Knight f6, e6. Black played c5. This is actually called the Benoni defense. d5. Now, black played b6. That's not really a move in this opening. Bishop b7, because now white gets the entire center. In this particular game, I actually think the cheater did not cheat, from the very beginning. I think here they tried to play on their own, and I know that because this is what happened. They got themselves into a completely lost position in 7 moves. Completely swarmed in the center. White is just going to play e5, bishop f4. Like, black can't develop with this massive wedge. Bishop g5, which is a bad move. Now black plays h6. Bishop takes. Now queen takes. e5. And this move they made on their own, they went back to d8. White went bishop d3. Black went knight c6. Now knight b5. Okay? The threat of knight b5 is to play knight to c7. Right? The only way to deal with that threat is to play rook c8. It's the only way. You got to play rook c8. You got to sacrifice your rook, but at least you get a pawn, and you are attacking this, and you are not completely lost. In fact, you are equal. Your opponent plays knight b5. They're trying to play knight c7. So naturally, given the fact that you are a chess player playing a 2000, right? You are playing a 2000. Now, this person basically made a chess.com account, cheated for a few games, and immediately got their rating really high, because when you make a new chess account, your rating goes up and down by huge margins because they don't know how good you are. So that's what happened there. Instead, they went a6 and lost the queen and resigned. So that is now 2 games that we have seen where they have lost the queen, right? Chess is hard. Look, chess is hard. If you're watching this as a beginner and you think I'm laughing at beginner mistakes, I am, only because this person would then proceed to boot up and cheat in like 100 games. All right, don't cheat. You don't even realize how silly you look, okay? Now, the opponent played knight b5, trying to go here, and black played a6, invited the knight in, and it's basically mate. You have to sack the queen, so black resigns. All right, there's more. There's so many more games that ended. I mean, this game ended in literally 8 moves. All right, e4, e5. This was a Spanish. All right, our cheater played knight f6, played pretty normally. Open Spanish, knight takes e4. So far, so good. d5, that's not the best move because because now there's knight takes e5. Now, the best move here on knight takes e5 is actually a really aggressive bishop d6. What you're supposed to do after rook e1, actually, in general, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put the bishop back, play b5, bishop b3, and then take on e4. Yeah, our cheater just went here and gets hit with knight takes c6 and resigns in 8 moves because they did not realize they are pinned. So that's a huge threat, and after queen e7, knight c6, you cannot take back because you are forked. Cheater resigns in 8 moves. This is who we're dealing with. There's another game. This one was really funny. Cheater opened up with a scotch opening and then developed all the pieces and okay, didn't get mated. Bishop 2f. What? It was equal. 1 move they played on their own. They just hung a bishop in 1 move and resigned. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. I've got one more for you. This was a fun one. This was a king spawn game. This one actually went a little bit longer. This one was a pretty aggressive, mutually counter-attacking game. Black played bishop e7. And in this game, black actually started out with a pretty good advantage, but then decided, okay, from around here, they decided I'm going to try to play on my own. So they played bishop f5. Now bishop f5 is not a good move because while it attacks the queen, it hangs this pawn. Then the cheater immediately went back to cheating. Cheater was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna attack black. Then here now queen c6, and queen c6 threatens the knight. But it doesn't because it's defended by the queen. So white just went here, and then black got a little bit, but was just completely lost and got mated. Rook d8, rook d8 is mate. So when the cheater played for a major chunk of the game on their own, they weren't very good. Which is why for most of the games they just cheated. They cheated from the beginning to the end, and they won a lot of games, but oh, you are not ready for this. This game was really funny. So, Justin is going to be last. The Justin game is absolutely hysterical. But our cheater realized that if they cheat for 80% of the game, there's still a good chance they win. So here's a game where the cheater played against the Latvian dude. That's the official name. Yeah, Latvian dude played with the white pieces. And it was knight c6. It was an Italian. It was d3, bishop c5. It was pretty normal opening. Cheater using the opportunity of the white knight retreat to strike back in the center, capture here, and then play this move a5, okay? knight g5. And now, here black plays a move that no human being plays ever. Like, never, and ever, 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 ever. And it's one of the top engine moves. And the move is queen e8. And in general, like I told you in the beginning, you know, cheater would generally, like, play moves at a pretty consistent time pace. Now we kick out this knight, of course. This is 8 seconds. The next move is, you know, it's about 5 to 9 seconds every single move. Now we play this move, knight h5. Knight g3. We trade knights, of course. That's why we put the knight there. And so at this point, the cheater tried to play a move on their own. Okay, they played 14 moves of an opening, completely equal. Tried to play a move on their own. They went rook a6. Again, it's sometimes difficult to even tell if it's a cheater or the bot, right? Because bots play really weird moves, but humans play really weird moves, but really terrible moves. Now, white played a very natural move, which is bishop c4. Now, you would think if it was a bot, it would go rook b6, right? It would play rook b6. That's weird, but it's something. No, the human just went back and now is completely lost because they just wasted 2 moves. They straight up just wasted 2 moves. And now white has a massive attack over here. And bishop takes h6 was played. Black went bishop e7. And white is completely winning. White is +5. Because white is playing like a human. White sacrificed the bishop with the intention to open up the king here. Although queen d2 and bishop and queen takes is even stronger. But in this position, white rushed. White rushed, sacrificed the bishop. And the cheater was like, oh, I'm not losing anymore. And now cheats basically the rest of the game. Like, you can kind of see here, you know, these silly moves, and now the cheater's like, oh, yay, I'm not losing anymore. Time to cheat the rest of the game and win. So this was quite instructive. Only move, of course, not to get mated, rook h8. That at least could have been found. Castles. Top engine move, bishop g4. Trying to trade the knight, trying to trade the rook. White plays knight h4. Very clever idea, by the way, with the idea of knight f5. Here, not wanting to play only top engine moves. Again, this is kind of a smart cheater. Like, you don't have to play the best move every time. Right now, the third engine move is rook d8, which is what black plays. Knight f5, rook f1. Now, the top engine move is bishop f6, f3, bishop e6, third move of the engine. Knight f5. Of course, you have to take. Only move. You have to take. Only move to keep the advantage. And now black plays the second computer move. The top computer move here is knight e7, but black plays queen e7. White plays queen e4. Black plays the top engine move, queen c5, trying to activate the queen. White gives a check, king f8, only move. Take. And now this is how ridiculous this cheater made all of this look. Bishop takes f7. That is a very creative move. The idea of that move is that the 2000 rated player is sacrificing a bishop to try to get an attack on this king, like trying to play something like this. It doesn't work, but it is a very human idea. Now, if I'm playing with black here, this is what I calculate, okay? I calculate takes, queen g6 or queen h5. Then I play like king f8, queen here, there's no more checks. Then I calculate queen h5, threatening these 2 pieces. Maybe I play king g8. Then I'm a little bit worried about queen g6. But I'm always so I actually would just take the bishop because to me I would just realize it doesn't work. No, the top engine move is queen e3 check, king b1, queen d3 check, king a2, and you did all of that because you're gonna win the rook. Of course you're gonna win the rook because if you take the rook, queen g8, there's no more checks. You win. Queen g5, bishop f6, or even take the bishop or run the king to safety. Of course. That is why we play queen e3 check. Duh, because we check. We take the rook. That way we'll never get mated. No. Taking the rook loses the game to bishop c4. Taking the rook is not included in the 3 moves of the engine, so black doesn't do it. The top computer move was to give this sequence of checks and then take the bishop. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, queen g6, king goes back to f8, rook h1, bishop g7, and now you trade the queens, and you sacrifice a pawn to open up the center of the board, then you bring your knight, then you take the pawns, then you effortlessly destroy your opponent, and, you know, rook e5 would be checkmate, so white resigned. So, very fun stuff, right? Now it's time for the game that my subscriber sent me. As we can see, this person and anybody that cheats does not realize how ridiculous they look. Even if you cheat as an intermediate player, you look ridiculous. Like, we know everybody knows you're cheating. Everybody. Now, of course, in the era of so many cheaters, people now accuse people that are playing fairly because they don't know how to actually evaluate. Like, how many of you have been accused of cheating in a chess game because you like played an opening you knew very well? So you got to trust the people that have played the thousands and thousands of millions of games. And also we got to obviously trust anti-cheat software for the most part. But this next game is very funny. So Justin rated 2100. One of my subscribers, maybe just a viewer, not a subscriber, don't know, sent me this game and said, all right, so look, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. And the cheater added a new thing to their toolbox. They decided to play bad openings. There's a very common cheating technique. They play stupid openings. Like, I have played people who cheat and they lose 2 pawns in the opening. They play like a terrible gambit, and then I get murdered. Like, they just completely kill me. So the cheater now is adding this type of stuff to their arsenal. Moves like queen f6. All right, obviously not a good move by the traditional sense, but if you've got stockfish in your back pocket, you're going to be fine. So white develops the knight. Black plays bishop c5. Now, yeah, Justin plays the best move, which is knight d5, forcing the queen to go back and play defense. The cheater is either playing completely on their own, right? The cheater is probably like 1,000 or something. Is either playing completely on their own or is just trying to give some handicap. Now, if I'm playing here and I see this bishop, I'm going to try to play c3, b4, or c3, d4, although I completely don't hate castling. Now the cheater tries to trade off the knight because white arrived there with the knight. And again, since I see this bishop, the best plan for white is definitely to seize the center. I don't like how Justin played d3. It's a little bit slow for my liking, but, you know, we can sort of see that the advantage of the queen coming out early is now gone. Knight takes, bishop takes, black castles, and now Justin does, in fact, play this move c3. Very slow play, maybe b4, maybe d4. This bishop will come out in the future. We're going to find out. So bishop b6. Justin plays a very professional move. He plays a4 with the intention of either winning that diagonal or just trying to trap the bishop. The cheater plays a5 because it is the top computer move and it stops white from playing b4. Justin now again plays a very good move because Justin's 2100 and the position is relatively straightforward. You have a lot of options here, but Justin plays knight h4, trying to beat up the queen, right? Because the queen kind of went out a little bit too early. Also trying to open up this queen for a line of attack. The cheater plays queen f6 back. So queen f6, queen d6, queen f6 back, trying to target the knight. Justin justifies his position. No pun intended. Queen g4. Black plays d6. Now the bishop is activated. Now the queen slides back to g3. White still has an edge because black played a really bad opening. But the thing is, a cheater is not going to beat you in a very locked and closed position like this. You know, a cheater is going to beat you on an open board. They're going to use the engine to find a tactic. They're going to find a sacrifice. The engine can't do anything special here because of the opening. Like, black played in a way where you can't really get mobilized, but we'll see. h6, right? Now the best move for Justin is to shove the knight in there, although that doesn't really look like it has, you know, any idea. So he plays king h1. The idea of king h1 is to unpin your king and play f4. Very nice idea. For a human, I love the idea. Cheater plays the best move, which is removing the knight and targeting the bishop. Justin brings back his bishop. And now the cheater trades the bishop because, you know, the light square bishop for black hasn't moved yet. So the idea is to trade off the bishop here, relieving white's position. Now, if I'm playing white, I'm trying to get this to happen, right? So I'm either taking and playing f4 or I'm playing f4 right away. Justin plays b3. And now for the first time in the game, the computer has a chance to open the board up and try to claim an edge. And like I said, the machine is going to try to open the board up as fast as possible. So it plays d5. All right? It tries to now change the plan from trading the pieces fully. And after pawn takes, knight takes, white is under a substantial amount of pressure. Again, if I'm playing white, I'll probably play bishop d2. I generally would not recommend trading off a bishop like this. That's just me. It is one of the moves accepted by Stockfish, though. And now c4 pushes the bishop. Now, before this bishop retreats, the cheater makes sure to slide in this bishop, trying to punish white for making those weaknesses. And now this bishop goes back to c6, right? The best move for white in this position was to play bishop takes h6. which Justin should have seen because Justin should have also cheated. The idea is that you sacrifice this, but you get the bishop here with a strong attack, and then you'll win the bishop. It's chaos. Rook b1, and now black is better. Black is better. Black has the bishop pair. Black has the open board. It's everything that an engine needs to beat a human. Or another engine, but it's everything an engine needs to beat a human. So Justin plays bishop e3. Now, again, remember, the cheater is trying to make intermittent moves that are not the top. The top computer move here, it's not even close, is to play rook d8. The idea is that you don't want to open up your opponent's pieces. The idea is that if you get taken, you want a rook to plant on that square to put pressure on everything. Instead, the cheater plays the third engine move, because they're trying not to get caught cheating, this, which doesn't make any sense at all, but it's the third move of the engine, which is why they played it. There is no reason to leave the center. There is no reason to put the bishop over here. There's no reason. White plays f4. Now, the cheater goes back to playing the top computer move. And that's actually a very good moment, because if they had, opened up the f-file, white would have gotten a very powerful attack. So instructive here, instead of opening up all of these lines for your opponent's pieces, the engine keeps the position closed with this move e4. Very instructive. Justin takes, because Justin is a human being, attacks this bishop, not quite because it's protected, and now the machine takes over the open file. And it's just a matter of time before the rook arrives on d3. Everything is going to start getting taken. Justin offers a trade of rooks, but unfortunately, in trying to relieve the pressure, there is bishop to b2. And now that rook is trapped, so you have to trade rooks and move your rook away. Oh, no, just kidding. The machine repeats moves. You see, cheaters don't even realize what they're doing, right? This is the top engine move, but sometimes the top line of the engine is literally to repeat the position. And then put the rook back on d3, which is what I said. And that's what's happening, right? Justin is getting machined. He is getting machined. The computer opened up the position, got the bishop pair, closed down the board for white, queen f2, the bishop slides out of the way, and now those pawns are being hunted. And it kind of shows you how when a human weakens their position from a distance, the computer will punish them very, very, very swiftly. And it goes from bad to worse, right? So bishop b4 played, Justin brings this back, and why did the machine, by the way, why did bishop b4 get played? Why did you play bishop b4? Because you're trying to take the pawns. So knight f3, you should probably take the pawns. Any human being would take this pawn, try to take the other pawns. But black is cheating. So instead of that, black plays the top engine move, which is giving up this god of a bishop for the knight. You know why? You know why the machine did that? Because white's options are either to pin their own bishop to the queen or ruin their pawn structure completely by doubling the f-pawns and opening up the king. So the machine, before it goes to do damage over there, gives away its really powerful bishop because the machine holds no sentimental value. Stockfish doesn't care like, I've got the best bishop on the board. No, it's trying to trade, and now the lethal part comes in. It's not about this at all. White decided not to damage the structure. Now you're going to lose everything. So by pinning yourself, my queen slides into the square the bishop allowed entry, and that's it. And Justin is busted up. But this is not the end of the story. It's not the end of the story. Because at a certain point, black started cheating. Stopped cheating. And as I told you, you just got to watch, all right? Queen takes b7, all right? At this point, Justin is messaging his opponent. Justin sent me a screenshot. He was messaging his opponent like, bro, you got a bot, blah, blah, blah. You're going to get banned, like all this stuff. And, black plays rook e1, and it's game over. I mean, it's basically just made. Now, Justin decides to go out with a bang, okay? If Justin had taken this, the game would have just ended, all right? Justin here decides, I got to go out with a bang. I'm going to lose. I'm probably playing a cheater. I'm going to sack my queen. Just going to sack my queen. I'm not going to resign. I'm not going to resign. I'm going to force my opponent to play until checkmate. Black takes. White plays h3. Now there's no back rank checkmate. Rook takes f1. King h2. Fastest way to win this position. Absolute fastest way. You got to get the queen to f4. You got to prevent the king from escaping. So you could play bishop d6. There's a lot of ways. Now the cheater starts playing on their own. So the cheater played all this. Played the whole game, cheated. Cheated the entire game. Watch what happens. Queen takes. Okay. I mean, again, you don't need to do that. Just go for the king. F5. Now, not only is it F5, now this is just, that's just a direct, like, any player above 1200. I mean, maybe at 1200 you still have some tunnel vision, but like, you just go for the check. Stop taking all the pawns. When you have a material advantage this big, just give a check. Okay, fine. Give a check, please. Bishop d6, queen f4. No, we take the free pawn. Okay, now black has to be careful not to stalemate, but white still has a lot of pawns. Stalemate meaning, remember, no legal moves for any of the pieces. Oh, Justin. Oh, it's dovetail mate. Queen f4, also bishop d6. Yeah, now you can't even block the put. Okay, fine. Okay. All right, queen a2. All right, king goes up. All right, I mean, listen, there was a lot of mates, but the cheater is figuring it out. All right, they are figuring it out. Rook f2. Okay. King h4. Okay, now we're getting really close to a stalemate, but just give checks. Just give checks. Every move should be a check. Okay, that's very scary, but the good news is now if you find literally any one of these 97 checks, you'll be fine. Okay, you didn't find a check, but there are still legal moves. Now it's mate. Now it's just mate. Now king's only escape square, queen e2, queen d5, queen f7, g6, even rook takes h4. Okay, good. Now we're checking. Nice, I love that. King f3. Ladder mate. Okay, that also works. I love it. Beautiful. Now the king cannot get trapped. Now the king has to run to the back rank. King's got plenty of legal moves, and black, it was really dumb. I mean, it was really stupid, but in the end, black got the job done, and stalemated white up 20 points of material, and proceeded to get banned literally after this game was played.